Hi children, primary class it is, and welcome to our today's lesson. And our lesson for primary class, lesson number 5 is, do you love me? Do you love me? Our topic is a question. Do you love me? And who is asking the question? It's Jesus. And who is asking? Peter. And interestingly, he doesn't ask once, he asked once, twice, and thrice. 3 times, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? So Peter had to be patient enough to answer Jesus 3 times. Peter, do you love me? So what's the point? Why was it so necessary that Jesus was asking Peter 3 times the same question? Was he doubting Peter? Was it because Peter had done wrong by betraying him 3 times? He didn't know. But here it is. We are going to learn the reason why Jesus asked Peter, do you love me? 3 times. Have you ever been asked a question? Same 3 times. Even if your dad or anybody, had he ever asked you a question? The same question over and over again. Didn't you get irritated? Didn't they hear my answer the first time? You would ask. You may have thought, but 3 times, not really good. Jesus asked Peter the same question. How many times? 3. Peter was restless. I'm going fishing. He had waited for Jesus, who would appear. He had appeared to them this far. He had appeared to them twice. So he told the other disciples, at least fishing was doing something. I'm going to keep myself busy, Peter thought. It had been a while since Jesus had been crucified. He had appeared to them twice since his resurrection. And it was wonderful to see him and to know that he was alive. So Jesus hadn't mentioned that Peter had betrayed him, denied him 3 times. Peter was still so embarrassed. He was not sure whether Jesus had forgiven him. He was ashamed of what he had done. He had asked God to forgive him though. He had asked for mercy, and I know God forgave him. But he may have thought that Jesus would no longer trust him. How much do the other disciples know about it? He would wonder. He may have wondered, did they know how sorry I am? Did they know that I was sorry? So some of the other disciples decided to go fishing with Peter too. Just as the sun was going down, they stepped into Peter's boat. The wind soon swept them across the water. They stayed out all night trying to do fishing, but they caught nothing. What a waste of night's work, Peter probably thought. Early in the morning, just as the sun was coming up, they returned to the shore. You know, them days, fishing actually is always done in the night. There is a bumper catch of fish when it's done at night, not at daytime. So the disciples knew exactly what they were doing. And Peter thought now, let's give up. Let's go to the shore. So without any fish, as their boat drew closer to the shore, they noticed a man standing on the beach. The man called out, have you caught any fish? And they replied, no sir, we have caught nothing. Nothing at all. So the man called out again, throw out your net to the right side of the boat. You will find some fish. So these people wondered, is this man serious? He seems not to know about any fishing, because fish are only caught at night. How comes this man is telling us to throw the net today and this time? It is so awkward, they thought. But all the same, they don't know why, but they obeyed. Nonetheless, as this man has said, let us throw it into the waters. So perhaps they wanted to please this man, or perhaps they just wanted to try once more. Whatever the reason, they did what the man said. Immediately, their nets were full of fish. Full, too heavy. The net was about to break. They were shocked. Suddenly, John recognized the man. It is Jesus. Peter felt good and happy that it was Jesus. Immediately, they were close to the shore, so he even jumped out of the boat and ran to meet Jesus. He loved being close to Jesus. Peter was so happy to see Jesus again. Jesus was waiting for them. The boat was very close to the shore. So Peter decided not to wait. He jumped out of the boat and he went to see Jesus and hurried through the water to Jesus. The others followed in the boat. When they reached the shore, they found that Jesus had made a fire and he was cooking some fish for their breakfast. They soon enjoyed the fish and some bread. After breakfast, Jesus turned to Peter. "Do you love me more than this?" he asked. Peter immediately answered, "Yes, Lord. You know that I love you." Jesus looked into Peter's eyes straight like this again and asked and said, "Feed my lambs." Again Jesus asked, "Peter, do you truly love me?" And Peter replied, "Yes, Lord. You know that I love you." Jesus replied, "Take care of my sheep." At that time, Jesus asked, "Peter, do you love me?" Peter didn't know what to think. Perhaps he wondered if Jesus didn't believe him. And why did Jesus ask me 3 times? Was it because Peter had denied Jesus 3 times? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him 3 times. With a heavy heart, Peter answered, "Lord, you know all things, and of course you know that I love you." Jesus said again, "Take care of my sheep." Finally, Jesus said to Peter, "Follow me." Peter realized then that Jesus had forgiven him. Jesus still wanted Peter to follow him. Why did Jesus ask Peter this question in front of the other disciples? So they would know that he had forgiven Peter. Jesus also wanted to teach Peter a lesson in patience, sympathy, and forgiveness. Peter would need all this in the future. He had some work to do for Jesus. He would lead and care for many new believers of Jesus during the rest of their life. Jesus also wanted us to know something special. There is only one thing we must do to follow and serve him. Love him with all our hearts. And when we really do, we will want to take care of others too. Love everyone with all our hearts. And when we do that, we will want to take care of others too. Love each other was the message for today. Jesus wants us to know something very special. There is one thing we must do to follow and serve him. Love him with all our hearts. And when we really do, we will want to take care of others too. Amazing, amazing. Jesus wanted to send a message to us that when we love him with all our hearts, we will take care of others too. The message we have today is we serve God when we take care of others. God took care, Jesus took care of his disciples. He didn't like when their hearts are heavy and they are gloomy. They have done fishing the entire night, they have caught no fish. No, he wanted them happy, and that's why he made them catch so much fish. A miracle recorded until today, that nets can even almost break with fish caught during the day. That was a wonderful miracle that Jesus did. He followed by giving them breakfast, taking care of them. He knew their needs. They were so hungry, so he prepared the fish for them. And our message, our memory verse today comes from the book of John chapter 21 verse 16. John chapter 21 verse 16, which says, "And again Jesus said, 'Do you love me? Take care of my sheep.' And again Jesus said, 'Do you love me? Take care of my sheep.'" John chapter 21 verse 16. John chapter 21 verse 16. John chapter 21 verse 16. And again Jesus said, "Do you love me? Take care of my sheep." God bless you, children. Bye.